Breaking news, the pound-for-pound king Terence Crawford is picking Jake Paul to beat Gervonta Davis. Not just that, he's also predicting if this is a real fight, Jake Paul is gonna knock Gervonta Davis out cold. What's more shocking about that is the fact that Terence Crawford insinuated that he believes Jake Paul fights are rigged. Here is exactly what the pound-for-pound king Terence Crawford had to say. Check it out.
Wanted to get your take on the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. They just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't have no reaction. You know, I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. You know, if it's scripted, then it's gonna be good for the fans to watch.
What do you mean by scripted? Like rigged?
Yeah, like scripted. Like,
but none of those guys want a fucking L, right?
I think it's not a real fight. I think it's because it can't be a real fight because they ain't in the same weight. So it'd be more like an exhibition.
I think it is an exhibition, but do you think they're like, but not one person saying like, yo, I'm gonna fucking throw the match? You think?
I don't think.
Or you never know.
Yeah, I think they're gonna go in there and spar. I don't think it's gonna be you trying to kill me or I'm trying to kill you. You know, I think it's let's go in here and make this money. You know, it's more of a business tactic than anything.
Because that's what Jake and Mike kind of did.
Yeah, for sure.
Like everyone bought into that, and then when you watched it, it was just like, bro, this sucks. I'm friends with Jake. I like him too, but that fight, I didn't like that one.
Jake too big for Tank. You know. In reality, he's way too big for Tank. Like Tank is very talented, punch hard, explosive, a whole 9 yards. But
yeah, because some people say Jake's fight's rigged. He's like suing people now that say they're rigged. You see that? But how could they rig it before? Because like, what if they just say, "Oh, we're gonna go soft on each other," and then Tank just fucking throws it right at Jake?
Jake can punch with that right hand. Like I seen him, you know what I mean, up close in person. Like dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is, and he can punch. You know, that's why a lot of people know, like, there was times where, you know, him and Tyson, you know, was in the ring, and he could have, like, laid it on Tyson, but he kind of, like, held back.
You could tell.
And that's the same with Tyson. Like, Tyson could have caught Jake with something, and he just, like, you know, so you can see it.
If you had to choose someone to win that fight, who do you think wins?
Honestly, I think Jake by youth.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, Jake's a huge underdog too.
Him and Tank?
Yeah.
There ain't no winner. It's an exhibition.
Do you ever sports bet on fights and watch them?
I don't bet at all.
Yeah, because Jake's a huge underdog.
Jake just too big. He too big. If they really go at it, he's just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over with.
Do you think he can hit him though? With how fast? Yeah. Did you watch when Logan fought Mayweather? It's kind of like that, right? A little bit.
Logan did good,
but I think Jake's a lot more experienced than Logan was at that time, right?
Logan got tired.
Yeah, but Floyd kind of pieced Logan up in that fight, right?
Logan landed his shots too, though.
Yeah.
You know, because Logan is longer and taller. You know, so Floyd had to take some risks. You know, at the same time, but you know, Floyd experience came into play. You know, he started hitting him a little harder, started touching him to the body, you know, started making him work when he don't want to work. And, you know, you start seeing Logan start fading. He can go right here, and then he started going like this. And then that's when Floyd started taking over.
You guys heard it. That's Terence Crawford stating in a nice way that he believes that Jake Paul fights are scripted in a way where he and his opponent don't go all out. It's more of a sparring match. That's what Terence Crawford believes happened when Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson, and that's what he believes is going to happen when Jake fights Gervonta in another exhibition. Now, first of all, I don't think these fights are scripted or rigged in any way, shape, or form. I think when Jake fought Mike Tyson, he tried his best to knock Mike Tyson out, but he couldn't do it. He even admitted it immediately after the fight because he knew the risk of trying to knock Mike Tyson out was to get knocked out himself in the process of doing so. The quickest way to get knocked out in boxing is look for the KO. We all know that. Now that's first of all. Second of all, when it comes to Mike Tyson, he's 60 years old, and leading up to the fight, he was having trouble walking. Everyone was concerned about Mike Tyson walking with a cane and being on a wheelchair at the Super Bowl event. This is the version that Jake Paul beat. The version of Mike Tyson that had a hard time walking. How is he going to get prepared for the fight? That's why Mike Tyson couldn't bend his knees, and he got to chase this young guy who's moving around the ring, Jake Paul. Actually, Mike Tyson team contacted me leading up to that fight because there were footage of Mike Tyson training. However, Tyson will do drills and then they will chop it up and make it highlights. However, there were footage that got leaked of Mike Tyson training camp, and he will be doing drills but then take a long break. So people see the highlights without seeing the work backstage. The type of shape Mike Tyson is in at 60 years old. Thinking, oh man, Mike Tyson is back. But he taking breaks in the process of doing this. In a fight, you're not going to take a break. And that's when I was really concerned about Mike Tyson. So I completely disagree with Terence Bud Crawford here. I don't believe that Jake Paul fights are rigged in any way, shape, or form. However, what do I know? Terence may have some inside information. We all know Crawford is connected now, so anything can go on in this business. This is the wild, wild west of all sports. That's boxing. I mean, even the way Crawford worded everything, he kept saying F, in order to protect himself, obviously, from Jake Paul suing him. Jake Paul did announce that he's going to sue anybody that say his fights are fake. With that being said, I told you guys before, this is a dangerous fight for Gervonta because Jake Paul, even though he's not talented, however, he is a heavyweight fighting a lightweight. Therefore, Jake Paul has a great chance of beating Gervonta, even in an exhibition. Perhaps Gervonta thought to himself, if Crawford can move up 3 weight classes to fight Canelo for undisputed, surely I can move up from lightweight to heavyweight to fight a YouTuber. All I'm saying, you got to be careful what you ask for, because if you hit the deck, exhibition or nah, you're going to be a meme. You're going to be a laughing stock. That's the last thing Tank wants. The reality is, Gervonta can't get hit that clean by Jake Paul, which I don't think he will. Gervonta too smart, too sharp, and too aware for that. But how willing is he going to let his own shots go? And at what distance? Is he going to apply pressure? Is he going to do both? I'm pretty sure we're going to see Volume 2 of Logan versus Floyd. With that being said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below. And to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.